Rajesh Pawar, you're a military man, you're also on the ground tracking this invasion and the attempt to take Kyiv. It hasn't succeeded so far. What's your reading of the Ukrainian pushback? Do you see the Russian army actually being able to hold Kyiv, or do you think that's now increasingly looking unlikely?
Look, Rahul, I do not think that the Russian army has actually made a serious effort to take on Kyiv so far. They have not tried to enter the city so far. And as far as fighting on the ground is concerned, there has not been much ground fighting around Kyiv in last 48 hours. Irpin is still very much under control of Russian forces. They have not moved forward. There is no ground offensive carried out by them anywhere. The small town of Makariv, which has been taken by the Ukrainian forces, is about 40 to 60 kilometers away. Not much significant as far as two axes coming from Brovary in the northeast and coming from Irpin in the northwest are concerned, which will be main axis of attack in case Kyiv city is attacked. What information I have got from the reports is that Russians are digging in. They are making defenses around the perimeter of Kyiv, which indicates that probably they do not intend to enter inside Kyiv. That will be very costly in terms of men and equipment, and will also cause a lot of collateral damage. So my reading is they will do exactly what they did in Kharkiv and in Mariupol. They will encircle the city, make the defenses around it, and then wait for the city to surrender, and the air pounding or pounding by the artillery and rockets will continue. Only ground fighting which took place in last 24 hours in Ukraine was in Donetsk and Lugansk Oblast, where there were successful counterattacks by Ukrainian forces as well. So it is more or less like status quo in last 48 hours as far as ground offensives are concerned, but air assaults by artillery and by rockets and by missiles continue in this part of Ukraine. Rahul.
Okay, thanks, Rajesh. We'll come back to you for more later. I want to show our viewers what's been happening in the port city of Mariupol, which is the business hub of Kharkiv, which is now turned into a ghost town. After 28 days, Ukraine is badly battered and bruised. President Zelensky wants direct talks with President Putin to end the war, but it doesn't seem at this moment that the Russian president is in any mood to agree.
A month into this war, Ukraine is definitely bruised and bleeding. Damage and devastation on the streets of Ukrainian cities as the war enters its 28th day. In the Marinka town of the Donetsk region in the east, the scenes are of devastation and destruction. Charred houses, buildings reduced to rubble, another city flattened, piles of rubble everywhere. The second largest city of Ukraine, Kharkiv, continues to witness intense and daily Russian shelling. Residential and commercial buildings of the city in many neighborhoods are piles of ruin.
Since last night, the artillery shelling of Kharkiv by the Russian army has continued, and explosions could be heard from day to night throughout the city. According to a statement from the Kharkiv state government, the Russian army stepped up its offensive on the night of the 21st of March and fired 58 rockets at the city of Kharkiv, which is still in the hands of the Ukrainian army. The frequency of Russian fighter jets over Kharkiv has decreased recently, but air raid sirens are still active throughout the whole time and get switched on frequently. According to the latest statistics from the Kharkiv municipal government, 972 buildings in Kharkiv were destroyed, including 7 hospitals.
In the besieged eastern port city of Mariupol, Russian troops can be seen launching an all-out attack with military tanks rolling on the streets of the city. Ukrainian President Zelensky has warned that the current humanitarian catastrophe is spiraling and unfolding in the port city.
As of today, there are about 1 lakh people in Mariupol in inhumane conditions under a full blockade, with no food, no water and no medicine, under constant shelling and bombardment. For more than a week now, we have been trying to organize stable humanitarian corridors for Mariupol residents, and almost all our attempts, unfortunately, are disrupted by Russian occupiers, by shelling or deliberate terror.
Chilling images of intensifying Russian attacks. Russian troops launched cruise missiles from Sevastopol area of Crimea under their occupation. In the northern city of Chernihiv, Russian troops bombed a bridge that connects with the capital Kyiv just to the south. The bridge was being used for humanitarian aid and evacuation of civilians. Putin's army shelled multiple buildings in Kyiv's Obolon. Loud explosions were heard in the eastern part of the city. Reports suggest that over 30 rockets were fired in this particular Russian offensive. But Ukraine continues to fight back. In a big win, Ukrainian troops were able to regain control over the strategically important suburb of the capital, dealing an important blow to Russian forces. The Ukrainian government released a video of Russian forces detained in Kyiv with their weapons. Despite Russia's ultimatums and even a nuclear threat, Ukrainian President Zelensky has sought dialogue.
We continue to work at various levels and to urge Russia to peace, to end this brutal war. Ukrainian representatives are working on the negotiations, which continue virtually daily. It is very difficult, sometimes confrontational, but step by step, we are moving forward.
With Rajesh Pawar in Kyiv, Bureau Report, India Today.